Now let's look at something else that connects with our activities. The yamas and niyamas are something that we have to practice over time and do it consciously and deliberately, which will refine our system. And how about the mind? How about the thinking that happens? You should have a friendly thinking attitude, a compassionate attitude, a supportiveness and goodwill attitude, an acceptance and neutrality attitude. These have been taken from our ancient literatures. The Patanjali Yoga Sutra mentions this. Friendliness, compassion, supportiveness and goodwill, acceptance and neutrality. Here, if you see, it is very clear that everything, almost three of the points is about you giving to the people around you, being friendly to somebody else, being compassionate to somebody else, being supportive and having goodwill. And what is there for you is being accepted, feeling accepted and being neutral. That is the only thing that connects to you. But as well, are you friendly to your own self? Are you compassionate to your own self? Are you supportive to your own self? Do you have goodwill for your own self? That is also a question. But this is how the mind should be able to train so such that it adds energy to your system, right? So if you want to be energetic 24/7 and energy woman 24/7, what kind of attitude do you have in a particular time in a day? What is the attitude that you have over a period? These are some of the elements that we'll have to look at. Now, what is the state of the mind? Right? This has been written in the sutras centuries back, but it is so relevant even today, especially in the corporate world. We do have a disturbed and a troubled state of mind, and it was written centuries ago. So, which makes it very clear that the mind is supposed to be is meant to be in these states, and it's okay, right? This is how the mind has been designed. The mind or the brain has been designed to be. So it will tend to be in these states of mind, be in a disturbed state, be in a troubled state, be in a dull or heavy state, have a distracted mindset, be partially focused or sharply focused. But where we are, what is a state of mind for a longer period of time? Does it help us in our day-to-day activities, in performing our tasks, in performing our duties or responsibilities? That is the question. So are we observing the state of mind that we have on a normal basis, on a triggered basis, right? So these are some things that add value. So when you're feeling disturbed most of the time, it's going to drain out your energy, no? So what are we doing about overcoming that disturbance? What is that is disturbing us is what we'll have to observe, right? And are we accepting that disturbance? Only when we tend to accept the disturbance, we will be able to let go that disturbance. Otherwise, we'll have to keep holding on to it. But because the mind has been designed to hold on to it now. And what are the various types of people that we'll have to handle? Happy people, people who are suffering, people who are virtuous, who follow ethics and moral values, who are very good, right? And the non-virtuous, people with negative thoughts. Right? They also tend to exist. How we understand them, how we live with such people is also a question, right? So these kind of people will also use our energy or drain our energy, right? They can even feed more energy to us. So how do we handle the different kinds of people? In relationships, the mind becomes purified by cultivating feelings of friendliness towards those who are happy, compassion for those who are suffering, goodwill towards those who are virtuous and follow ethics and moral values, and indifference or neutrality between those we perceive as wicked or evil. So are we willing to see what our thoughts are? Are we willing to observe what our emotions are? How we understand people, how we understand our mind, how we understand situations, how we react to situations? Yes, that's a question. That's a self-observation. That's a conscious observation that we have to do to ensure that we have energy within us. So only having all these systems is what will enable us to get to the 24/7 energy woman state. Yes, 24/7 includes the time that you sleep as well. So sleeping also utilizes certain energy, right? The potential energy. That's the time when the healing happens within the body. That's why when you're sick, the doctors tend to give us sedatives or sleep stimulants to make us to fall asleep. Because during sleep is when the entire body shuts down and only certain bodies, organs and systems will work to heal our body properly. So what is the energy that is required over there? How we would rejuvenate that energy? It will help us through following a value system. And the guidelines have been already given to us through our spiritual text. And we are so blessed by being in this kind of a community and culture. Right? So are we willing to observe what our thoughts are? How we emote, especially to our kids, to our closest family, our social circle, our work circle? Are we willing to do all that? And then ensure that we are feeling energetic 24/7. So let's start looking at ourselves from inside towards outside and not the other way around. The other way around also bears weightage, impact. From outside also you may tend to get in more energy or lose some energy. So it's a back and forth process that you will have to do of self-observation. So let's get on to the bandwagon of being a 24/7 energy woman. See you in the next module.